Hey everybody, it's Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms here in the mountains of North Carolina. And just under the wire, I am here right at 7 o'clock. Good to see you all. It looks like I'm a little fuzzy tonight, but that's okay. Maybe I'll make an adjustment. Oh my gosh, if I make an adjustment, I'll probably break it. Let's try that. Luke, good to see you in here. First man on the spot. Johnny on the spot, we'll call you that. Super B, good to see you in here. Good work. I see continuing on the shed build. I call that man cave. Heath Whittle, hey man, how's it going? BLR, hello from Minnesota. Wow. Scooter 55, how you doing, brother? Al Martin, good to see you. Ooh, 10-day work week, good for another 12. Pipe fitting, but it's a good job, my friend. Jordan B, hello from the West Coast over there, my friend. Michael Root, good to see you. How is everybody's week going? Wes Raz saying cigar time. Yeah, I've been thinking about having one myself. I am well. I hope you are too. It figures like 2 seconds. 2 seconds before I came live. I came on here live. The rain started flying, and so it might be a little loud in here. Hopefully, y'all will be able to hear me, man. 741. Good to see you in here, man. Is that I don't know where. I just grabbed that photo off the net. It just felt like a satellite theme because I've been working on a satellite system here at the house, and so it just kind of had that theme going in my head, so I went with that. Um, Holiday man, how you doing from Arkansas? Good, Dallas, good to see you in there, farm family. Not at work, amazing. Sitting on the beach, well, there you go. That sounds awesome. Al Blunt, Portland, Oregon, good time, my friend. Really liking the channel. Thank you very much, Al. Al, I used to live on the West Coast. Well, for I think it was about a year. I was in Eugene or Springfield, so not too far from Portland. I've been up to Portland. Matter of fact, last June, right about this time, flew into Portland and went to Washington. Where did I go? Someplace, Washington. Picked up a car, drove it back cross country, man. Super B saying he had a good rainstorm there. It's probably the same one, man. It's probably just moving up. Al saying new antenna. Yeah, no. It is a new antenna. I have a satellite dish. Not quite as big as this one, though. Hey, Jamaica Dog. Good to see you, man. Jordan B saying he's under 7-day curfew. Risk getting arrested if I leave the house after 6. This is worse than the virus. It is worse than the virus. I'm sorry that you're going through that, my friend. Stay home and stay safe is all I can say with that one. Scooters 55, cigar and a strong drink. Yeah, for those of you who are drinking, I guess now's about the time, isn't it? Jack Taylor, howdy from Oklahoma. Good to see you, buddy. Phil Murray. Sheffield United will never be defeated. Right on, brother. And David Smith, hello from the UK. So is everyone okay? I know some of y'all are from areas that are probably more populated than where I'm at. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on here in the United States, and I hope you all are safe wherever you may be. Oh, man. So here on the farm, we've got a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of work on finishing planting the last of our vegetables and fruits and stuff like that for the year. I do say fruits because we did get 2 more fruit trees this year, just 2 little more peach trees, little teeny peach trees. Then, of course, it'll be many, many months or many years before those things actually give peaches. But Super B saying had a peaceful one, yeah. So we had one, not in our town, but a couple towns over that was sort of like that. We don't have a lot of diversity in the mountains, so there's not that big of an issue here, I guess. But I've been talking. He's saying I've been talking to aliens in outer space. I have been, man. I have been getting a kick out of shooting. I bought a 39-inch satellite dish, a KU band satellite dish with an LNB and a mover antenna rotor. Well, the equivalent of antenna rotor is called horizon to horizon mount, and a receiver. And I have been playing with FTA signals from outer space. It's really cool. Just thinking that you can take such a small dish with such a small receiver and get signals from 22,000 miles up. We take it for granted. A lot of rural folk out here have Dish Network or DirecTV, so I mean it's popular just to slap it up and point it at one satellite and be done with it. But this is a little different. This is getting signals that you aren't necessarily supposed to be getting. But I've been getting one in particular that I really have been enjoying having it censorship free. So it's kind of cool to have access to it. And I've been filming videos. The first part I liked. The second video I made, I'm not so sure I like it, but it is kind of funny because it's not something I'm an expert on. I have some history with playing with satellites, but not an expert at all. But it's been really fun, just kind of enjoyable. We had nice weather here, so I was doing a little bit of that. 741 saying he's in the garage working on his old Honda. What kind of Honda you got, man? I had I don't know if you mean old, like really old, or but I used to play around with like the Honda Z50s and the 110 trail bikes, stuff like that. I was always into very small CC motorcycles when I was playing with bikes. So I kind of like the smaller stuff. I started with mopeds, so I'm like I love playing with mopeds when I was younger. Yeah, that's kind of scary, I know, but it's true. Butch, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you in here. Careful, you might hear from V'ger. Right on, dude. Hey, it's Far Point Farms. I guess that would fit right in there. Keith Whittle's asking, do I have a decoder or is it free band? It is free. It's like uh, it's high definition stuff and low definition stuff. But what KU band is really used for now? There are a lot of international channels, so you can get stuff that's foreign language, which unfortunately I don't speak any. But there's a lot of foreign channels that are transmitting English information, which is kind of cool to get. Korea and Japan and China and countries like that all have English news channels that are based in those respective countries. So it's fun to get a different perspective on, especially in current events here and around the world. A lot of times when we have localized problems, national problems or national things going on, we don't really hear what's going on in the rest of the world. So it's a way of finding out information elsewhere in the world. So that's kind of cool. But also, there are channels that transmit free to air. FTA stands for free to air, and I'm not talking about like being buying like the equivalent of a cable descrambler box or anything like that. This is all stuff that's not scrambled. You don't need to have any kind of special equipment to hack it. It's all just available. But there's some great stuff out there. There's a website called Lyngsat, I think it is, Lyngsat, that pretty much could show you everything that's available up there, and it talks about whether it's encrypted or not. So that's kind of cool. So there's like maybe 60 or 70 channels throughout the arc that are fun to play with. But there's one in particular that I really wanted, and I nailed it. I got it. So I'm very happy that I got the system. It was very inexpensive. You can get into this game for like $150, which in the scheme of things is not cheap, but there's a lot more expensive ways to waste your money. The box was like $20 and the dish was like 110 with shipping. So very, very inexpensive stuff. And I already had the wiring, no special wiring needed, just regular coax cable. So there you go, 741. It's a CM400. Oh, cool, man. Is that like an automatic? Because I do recall playing with one of those back in my high school days. And I can't remember if it was CM400, but it was a 400cc Honda that had an automatic transmission. It was kind of cool. Super B saying got a Carrera 4 from a guy in North Carolina. He had a Trump TR250 amongst 40 other toys. I am drooling just thinking about that. Very cool, man. Jimmy Richardson. Hey, Jimmy from Four Oaks. How you doing, bud? I have a guy I'm supposed to call. Oh, man, I just realized I didn't call this guy. That's a bummer. I'll be calling him, I guess, tomorrow. But anyway, turns out I was talking with someone here. They had sent me an email, and he has a son who lives about an hour from me, and he's getting started. He lost his job. He's just getting started trying to farm this year, and he needed some help. So I've offered to give him a call and maybe actually go out and give him some help looking around at his property, seeing where's a good place to plant and all the rest. So, but I was supposed to call him today, but I was just messing around with stuff all day. I forgot all about it. But I need to do that. Thank you for reminding myself somehow. I don't know how that worked, but 741 saying that bike's not an automatic, but he knows the one I'm talking about. Yeah, that was a rarity, no doubt. And I don't know, man. I'm not against the idea of an automatic bike. I guess it takes some of the, I don't know, take some of the thinking out of it if you want to concentrate more on the road, I suppose. But yeah, they're very rare. You don't see automatic or semi-automatic bikes. Yeah, that mopeds I used to mess with, some of those were like 2-speed semi-auto or 2-speed automatics. But yeah, so. Scooters 55, things are starting to calm down here in Minneapolis and George Floyd. Yeah, okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Scooters 55. I don't want to say certain keywords that might affect my ability to function here on the channel, but yeah, these things usually run their course. If I look back to other incidents, they usually, heat up and then calm down. And of course, the media plays a major role on, agitating and instigating violence. But looks like things are on the down. That's good to hear. Sorry about that. I had to move that. So let's see here. Al Martin III says that I have an eBay store. I do. It's not a store. Sometimes I sell stuff on eBay. Not often though. Well, here's how it normally works in a normal year when it's not the middle of the apocalypse. So in a normal year, I go to flea markets and yard sales and ham fest and stuff like that, and I buy stuff. and I play with it, and a lot of times I make videos of it, and then, well, once it's run its course, if it's not something that I was desperately seeking, I'll clean it up and go ahead and resell that on either on Marketplace or on eBay. This year, I did sell a few things over the winter, and I think I have like one or two small items up. But these are just things. Most of the stuff I've sold this year, I've sold on Facebook Marketplace because it was like tractors, lawn equipment, stuff like that. Because I do fix up mowers in the wintertime. I think I've made some videos on that. So that's kind of what I do. But yeah, I do have a eBay presence. I wouldn't say a store. So. Al Blunt, my apologies if you mentioned this before in a previous stream. How's the solar panel project going? Cool. If it's going well-ish, I have amassed everything that I need to get the job done, except for 4 panels, and those panels are arriving tomorrow by FedEx. So I've been waiting on them. They've been on back order for weeks, I guess, but it's going to be, I scaled it back from a 1.6 kilowatt to a 1.2 kilowatt system for right now. But I've built racks for the 800 watts that I have. I'm waiting for the 4 panels to arrive to make it the 1200, and I'm going to put that together. So I'm thinking next week, depending on weather, I'll be setting it up out in the yard. But I do have a massive battery. I bought a lithium ion battery that's like a 5.7 kilowatt hour battery. It's massive. Thing weighs 200 pounds and costs a fortune. I've got that. I've got the inverter. I've got the charge controller. So I'm doing pretty well on that. Of course, there's always going to be room for improvements, and there were several people who were mocking my puny system, but everyone's got to start somewhere, and I felt like this was actually not a bad way to start. And somebody here had the idea that maybe instead of trying to just make one system larger and larger and larger, that you just split systems into different quadrants of the property. So maybe the lower barn gets a solar system, and maybe the garage gets a solar system, and maybe the house eventually gets a massive solar system. So we'll see how that plays out. Heath Whittle, any low power FM broadcast transmitters that are frequency stable that you can suggest? So here's what's weird about that, Heath. Like the one that I got, Reticus, I think it was. It's been pretty good down in Raleigh or down in that area. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta take a drink. Oh, sorry, man. Um, it works great for now, and it has been. What my understanding is, a lot of these transmitters, as they age, like once they get 2 years on them or whatnot, then when they get frequency drift, or they start to splatter, or they just have a really bad signal pattern. But from everything that I'm being told from down in the Raleigh area, and again, I haven't talked with Woody in a while, but that system is working pretty well. Gets about a 6 to 7 mile range, and has pretty, like, up to that 6 mile point. On most stereos, it's working pretty good. At 7 miles out, it starts to get some serious issues, with just cutting out. And he's at 87.7, which is like an unused frequency in that area. In most areas, that really 87.7 is like the really bottom of the band. But it works pretty good. I've always stuck with AM myself, and I use that. I've actually ordered another transmitter for the AM station because mine is. Yeah, I did some work. I replaced the caps on it. But it's just 20 plus years old, so it's it's just kind of done for, I guess. But the big Western North Carolina Hamfest in Waynesville, yeah, canceled. And I got a neighbor here. We've been talking. We went to Shelby last year to that massive Hamfest, which was so cool. And it hasn't been canceled yet, but probably is. The Raleigh one got canceled, so it's kind of such a bummer, man. So Al saying thank you, man. No problem there, buddy. I don't want to channel, just commenting says, that's a great name, by the way. How big of a garden can your garden tractor handle on a single tank of gas with the plow, disc, or ripper? I usually get a full day out of 5 gallons if I'm going to run like nonstop from sun up to sundown. And then, well, I don't go to sundown, but like I usually wrap things up at 3 or 4 in the afternoon if I get started at 6:30 in the morning, and I'll have to refill it. So yeah, and it's like a 4.5 gallon tank. So. And that'll be a mixture of running stuff around the property. Let's say I spend an hour, shoveling manure with the, pull behind cart, and then another hour, with the ripper tearing up weeds and stuff like that up the top, and so on and so forth. So an average day of use where that thing's probably running 6, 7 hours in the day would be about 5 gallons. So maybe a little less than a gallon an hour. Dallas, it sure did. I've been busy. I've actually had family up here. They just left today. So I haven't had a chance to do anything, but I did get it, and it's sitting right above my head right there. I really like it. Like the idea that the switch has a switch on the bottom to turn the fan on and off when you need it, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing with that. Well, sometime this weekend, hopefully, if I get a chance. Although tomorrow looks like I'll be going to go see a fan of no, not a fan, a fan's son. How's that sound? There you go. Clayton Smith, how you doing, man? From Memphis, Tennessee. Hope all's well in Memphis. Everything's doing pretty good here. I've been working the video I uploaded on Wednesday of the barn. That was obviously, if you look in the background, you can see there's no leaves on the trees yet. So not as packed in as that was a couple months ago. So everything's pretty much done with the barn today. I was doing some finishing touches on it and the other barn. So just like today was like construction day, or like really, everything gets about 90% done, and then it becomes so usable that you just kind of forget about it sometimes. But today was a day like, okay, let's do some paint, let's touch up this, let's make a little extra support here, that kind of stuff. So that was my day today. Clayton, love your videos. Oh, we already got you. Mower Junkie, good to see you in there, buddy. Good to see you. You've had some great clips of Skip. Wasn't in the garage all day today, so I came out here to get ready for the show, turned on the CB, and man, Skip's like crazy here. Of course, no time to actually talk on it. So, but I'm glad to hear that we had a little bit of a band opening. That's always nice. Zika, how you doing, man? Late for the chat. It's 1:30 in the morning. Good. Go to bed. House Farm is doing good. Fruit. I got a peach tree that is like mega fruit. I've got 2 apple trees out of the dozen that are just awesome. The rest, hit or miss. We did get a late freeze. So, and blueberries. Oh my gosh, so many blueberries. They're not ready yet, but so many. So many. Can't wait for blueberries to come into full fruition, AJC, I'm from Memphis. How you doing, buddy? Dallas Rife, good deal. Yeah, man. It is. I appreciate that so much, brother. Super B, the lean-to on the barn looks good. Thank you, man. Yeah, and that's like a cheap and quick and dirty, messy. I wish I could have got it with metal, but at the time that I bought all this stuff, it wasn't an option. So I went with wood, and tacking wood onto a metal structure is always kind of a interesting creation, but it came out well, and it's sturdy. You can hang from it. I've stood on the roof, and I was up on it actually today putting a few more sheet metal screws in, but not bad, dude. So Heath Whittle, will you ever do a live broadcast where you call out on CB and see if one of you followers can reach you again? Heath, yeah, I do, and here's the problem with that, and it's weird because I use RG213, which is pretty well insulated stuff, but the cable, and you can't see it, I'm kind of looking behind the camera here, but where I'm staring, there's the monitor. You've seen my videos, how my little computer setup is, and I've got my 2 radios over to the other side here. Well, the cable goes right up and right over, and it goes right across where the Wi-Fi antenna is, and when I key down, a lot of times it drops the Wi-Fi connection to the house. And there have been 1 or 2 times when I broadcast and keyed down like that it's actually killed it. I mean, like wiped it out. I've had to reboot the computer and stuff. So that is why I don't really do that anymore, and it's kind of a bummer. But I'll work on something. I think I just need to like move that out of the way. I think if it were like 2 feet away instead of 2 inches away, it would never be an issue. But I think that's what's going on there. So. Rally Point says Crazy Skip in Southern California so noisy it sounds like a pet store. Yeah, all the animals chirping and whizzing and wiping and all that. Yeah, I get it. That's actually a great description for that, man. Bruce Carpenter, hello from Newland. Newland, man, they got a Radio Shack in Newland, do they not? I've been down there. So yeah, that's sweet, man. Newland's maybe an hour and 20 minutes from here. Good to see somebody somewhat local. Yeah, Mower Junkies in the house. Desmond Cream, hello to all. Belfast, Ireland. Always amazes me that we have people from the UK and from Ireland and everywhere else overseas. Italy, I think we get people in from. Australia, obviously. So, yeah, man, it's awesome to have it. Heath Whittle saying, move the coax. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I got to move it. It's just the way the whole thing is routed up there at the ceiling. It's kind of hard. And I actually tried moving the Wi-Fi antenna down, and it's, I'm really far from the house out here in the garage. So it's a weak signal. I had to get like a high gain antenna to even do this out here. So if I move it, I lose signal, and then I end up not being able to broadcast that way either. So it's been interesting. It's on the list of things to do, but I'm sure, as you know, Heath, there's always a lot of things to do, isn't there? Scott Regan, how's it going, my friend? Good to see you in here. Pierce Tailgate, hello from Indiana. I was born in Indianapolis, my friend. Michael Root's in here. I'm sorry, man. I'm thirsty tonight. I was outside in the sun all day. It's one of those days where it was scheduled to rain all day, and turns out it didn't. So when we get weather, you wake up and your day is kind of planned to be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then you find out it's going to be beautiful weather. Well, it's kind of hard to rationalize indoor projects when you could be outside. So I really try to. I really try to do like garage work or automotive type work on days that it's raining outside, so I can maximize the time I'm out here. I don't know if you know anything about the mountains of North Carolina, but people, I lived in Eugene, Oregon for a while, and people thought it rained there an awful lot. We actually get about twice the amount of rain that Eugene gets, so you really, really have to you have to use those sunny days anytime you get them. Hey everybody, while I'm thinking about it, last time I did a live show here, there were a whole lot of downvotes from people who never left comments. I'm not sure what they would have been offended or upset about, but if you would please hit the like button, that would help out a lot. I'd appreciate that. There's a lot of folks here that, and I think Mower Junkie, as your fame and fortune on YouTube increases, you will soon see this start happening on your channel if it hasn't already. That anything that occurs that's CB or ham related gets a lot of downvotes, and I'm not sure what that's about, but I think maybe there's some larger ham channels. This is just a guess that pay to have companies downvote, because it's like you can watch the analytics and it's like they view the channel for 16 seconds, hit the downvote, and back out. So it's really kind of weird. But and I don't know if you've had that, but I've had that here for I don't know. I'd say it's been going on about a year and a half. I know some of y'all have commented, how can somebody, unlike this or not like this, so that's just, it's strange. But I guess that's part of when you become, and I won't say popular because I wouldn't say this channel is that popular, but I guess it's popular enough to have caught the attention of people who think that somehow, instead of we're all in the same boat, that we're in some kind of competition, but it's strange anyway. Bruce saying it rained maybe 50 drops here. That's pretty much what happened here. It was gorgeous up until about 3 o'clock, and then it rained a few drops, and it rained a few drops right when I started the show, but that was it. So I'm probably about, like I said, about being about an hour from you. I'm sure I'll get another 50 drops here in a little while. Daniel wants to know, had any news on the Yugo? So I sold the Yugo, man, it's been a year and a half ago now, to a guy, and I don't know what the heck. He was a strange cat. Let's just leave it at that. But he was not happy with the car, which just blew me away. But he was more of a perfectionist. But last I heard, he had he had restored my restoration to a more restored restoration level that he was now happy with. But he was a strange cat, dude. That dude was. I tried my best to please him, and I offered him a full refund when he said he wasn't happy with it, but he refused, and then just chose to berate me over the over email for the better part of a year. So it's interesting that some of the folks you meet online. Let's see here. T. Nelson wants to know, hey, from West Texas. Yeah, sorry, man. BLR saying follows Mower Junkie. Oh, Mower Junkie saying it's already happening to you too. Yeah, so like, why, man? Like, I don't get that. I wish if somebody was going to like criticize my work, and there are certainly places to criticize. There's a couple of videos I put out that were, either not of high quality or not just not very informative. And so certainly there's room to criticize, but it's just funny that people don't have the gonads to even comment and give you that constructive criticism, I guess I should say. So Super B saying insurance replacing the roof on my house. They're pulling up the roof. Going to put the roof on the shed at the same time. Oh, sweet, dude. We put a roof on our house 2 years ago. I didn't know that insurance covered that unless like a tree fell on it. Did you have some kind of damage to it? As ours was just old, and it started to leak, and rather than patch that one spot, we decided let's go ahead and put a new one on it. So we got a pretty good deal on a roof. Well, not a great deal. Very expensive, as I'm sure you're seeing the paperwork come across your desk. Dallas saying he's quenching his thirst as well, sitting in the sand. Boy, why are you wasting your time watching this? You should be watching the beach and people watching, man. That's the best part about going to the beach, as far as I'm concerned. David M., how you doing, brother? I haven't seen you in a while. Just buzzed by to say hello. I just got my ATV belt, so I'm putting it on. Good for you, brother. Good to see you, man. It's either that or a bunch of crybaby ham operators is Dallas's guess. Okay, so like I could see that that's certainly possible, but then again, why don't they just say something, man? I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Now I have banned 6 people over the years. I don't know if Mower Junkie, if you've had to ban anybody yet, but I had a couple people who just like ripped into me so hard, and then started ripping into anybody else that commented that I was just like, this is not worth my time. So I silenced them. It's a great power we have here. It was wonderful. Dave, I'm still waiting for the shop to get my Ford C-Max hybrid done, my new toy. Right on. That's going to change. Good for you, man. Always good to buy tools to get the stuff done. Daniel, I am the admin for Yugo Facebook page. I know what you mean. Some Yugo guys are kind of strange. No doubt, man. And that's not a bad thing. You know, everyone's a little bit goofy, but I love Yugos. And that you're right. It kind of puts you into a category with some interesting folks, you know, I guess. But do love a Yugo, man. I definitely would love to get another one, man. Kerbapa, let's say, in my experience, the worst thing you can do about the dislikes is showing people that it makes you angry. The last thing you want is a 4chan at your throat. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's not that it makes me angry. I think it's just confusing. I think, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like weird. So, anyway, man. David G., good to see you, bud. Hope everything's going well up north. Got you going strong. Keep your edge. Right on, man. Joe R., waiting for my 50 amp Tech Power supply to get here. Right on, dude. Well, that's what I use. That's what I use to power the RCI that I have here, and it works great, man. I love it. I love you adjustable power supply, or you can just set it right to 13.8, and never flickers. It's really nice. Bruce Carpenter saying ham operators aren't an interesting bunch. Everyone's weird. I'm certainly not picking on ham operators at all because I don't know who's doing it. But I feel like it's just another channel that maybe has some insecurities, perhaps. Let's say that. More junkies saying ban 2 so far. That'd be funny because I bet you it's the same 2, or 2 of the people that I've had to deal with. It's kind of funny. One of the guys I banned literally like went off about. Went off and then turned into like a politically going off, but like he like had a conversation with himself and got so bent out of shape over my antenna tower, that wooden antenna tower, telling me how it was junk and how it was, it wouldn't last and blah blah. It was just like, oh my gosh, guy, come on. And like somebody else was like, I don't know, it looks good, and he started tearing into them, and I was like, okay, all right, this guy's just nuts, so I had to ban him, but. Very interesting character, no doubt. Joe's saying he's got a MFJ 870 and a present Lincoln 2 on the way. That Lincoln 2, I don't know about the MFJ. I've never played one of those, but the Lincoln 2 gets great reviews, man. James Manning, good to see you in here, brother. He's saying he's a ham operator, and I don't give people for producing content that's not perfectly accurate. Yeah, no one's gonna be perfect with this stuff. I think people get ticked off with me because some of my stuff is not 100% accurate because I'm not aiming my videos at like the hardcore experienced user. When I make, I've made probably a little over a dozen ham related videos, but those are like seriously entry level, like basic videos. And with CB stuff, a lot of my stuff is also like basic stuff. I don't get into how to repair them. I don't get into radio theory. I mean, there's other people that do it better. 741, I couldn't agree with you more, man. He's saying people don't realize how hard it is to make videos and live stream. Otherwise, they might be more positive about their criticism. No doubt, it's not so easy. And there are a lot of guys and gals out there that have really great content. They put out 4 or 5 videos, and they get trashed, and then they just give up. And it's a shame because there's enough room on the internet for everyone to have a voice. I'm a firm believer in that anyway. And this is a great place to prove that, to find other info. But I've watched some videos from guys and gals that may have only made a half dozen videos, and they were 5 or 6 years ago, but it's some of the best content you can find. And so that's interesting to me. Dallas saying, I have you playing on my loud Bluetooth speaker. I'm watching your great view and some strange people as well. Yeah, I do love people watching, man. He's saying, it's not me. I got you, man. James said, likes the backdrop. Right on. Thank you, brother. That's just something I pulled off the net, but I thought it was cool. Now that I'm so technologically savvy to have blue screen or green screen, whatever it's called. So, Super B says, all hail the Balin Hammer. Yes. 741 saying it's the same guy he had to ban. Yeah, I bet you if we all got, probably every CB and ham operator out there gets together, there's probably a group of 5 or 6 that'll just drive us all nuts. We should put that list up there for everyone else. Be like, if you're gonna start a channel on radios, you might want to just go ahead and preemptively shut these people down. Joe R might win an RM Italy KO3 503. Sweet dude. So I know 203s are awesome. I've had some of y'all tell me that the Newegg is sold out of those 203s. That's a bummer because those are great radio or amps there. Super B saying he had a guy yammering about my antenna being too short. Yeah, everyone's a critic. Well, that's the beauty of the internet. We can all be armchair, warriors. What was it? Wow, gosh. Chairborne Ranger. Remember that from the Army? Chairborne Ranger. Where have you been? I'm sure we've run into plenty of those. Jack Taylor, can I hear the Midnight Cafe on an audio stream? Jack, and I want everyone to virtually slap me upside the head for this. I am still dragging my feet on getting the stream back up online with my new laptop. I switched out the old Toughbook with a new Toughbook. I've transferred all the software over, but there's a whole bunch of permissions you have to give to the router to get streams going back and forth. And in the wintertime, I have time to mess with stuff like that more often. But in the summertime, running a small farm and running a business and still having a job and having another part-time business, it's a miracle that anything ever happens. And there's a reason why everything gets halfway done. And so the radio setup broadcast live right now over the air, over 1670 AM here in the area. But unless you're pretty much in my driveway, that's not going to help you out. So unfortunately, no, it is not up. But I promised everyone I will continue trying to get the station back online. And I will definitely make a video and a link. I actually had somebody make a request, and I am going to make a video on it of how to set up, not my radio station, but how to set up a low power AM or FM radio station, how to enter that game, and also how to enter it on the online side of it. But since I'm not technologically savvy on the internet side, that's going to take a little bit of time to put it all together. So there we go. So that hopefully answers that. Take care, David M. Good to see you, man. BLR, what's some YouTube channels you find very interesting that you look forward to watching them? Well, 2 of them are right here on this station. Actually, there's a bunch of them, but there's so many to ask. I enjoy a variety of topics that I like mystery history. So I like talking about alternative forms of what history, we're taught in school probably may not be accurate. A lot of stuff about pre-flood civilizations, things like that. But as far as radio stuff goes, most of the guys that I watch for the radio are right here on the channel with me. I love Mower Junkie skip clips and stuff like that, and I love 741 does a lot of great ham stuff. I think 741's got an underappreciated channel. It's funny, you don't put out a ton of videos, but your videos do get a ton of views, and that speaks volumes right there. Where I have to throw out 3 or 4 videos a week to catch views, you seems like people definitely look forward to what you produce, so that's cool. As far as homesteading type stuff, I can't even think. I think Prepper Nurse is fun to fall asleep to, but a lot of people seem to have an issue with that guy. But I don't follow his personal life. I don't really care about that. But I find him calming to watch at night. So watch his upload for the day as he talks about what he did for the day. Again, I wish there was something I could do. I wish I could. These live feeds are, I guess, as close as I come to that. We'll just cut out here. Hopefully it comes back. But, oh man, that's not good. There we go. Sorry about that if we cut out for a second. But yeah, so anyway, I was saying he's able to pick up a cell phone camera and just walk around his property and point to stuff and just talk randomly. I'm not that good at it. I can sit here and do these live shows just because I have a history of 20 years doing radio shows. So I can do it like that, but I can't, I don't know. It's just, it's hard. So I enjoy that, but Daniel Tohill, what's a good transmitter for a small FM station? We've had good luck so far down off the mountain with that Redicus, what was it, TR503, I think it was. Good little cheap radio station. That's 15 amps too, so that thing, or 15 watts, I'm sorry, so it'll get out there. It reaches out. Oh man, I have missed so many. All right, let me see here. Al Martin saying he digs the antenna tower. Yeah, for what it is, it was very inexpensive, so it was, I'm happy. Bruce saying, unfortunately, it takes all kinds of people. And that's part of it. And I actually made a video I never uploaded that talked about what it's like to be famous, this fake version of famous that I am. But the second that people start to know who you are, I start to worry, and I daily carry. I always have since they made it legal in North Carolina. But uh, I don't know, man. Like, it's one thing to meet a hater over the web, but it's like some of these people will be like, "I'm gonna find you," and that's kind of, I don't know, man. It's kind of a thing that I don't like. So a lot of times when I meet people in person, I'm a little bit hesitant or shy, or even talking to folks on the phone and stuff like that. Sometimes it's crazy. Joe R saying Newegg gets those RM amps from 88 radio, so they might be ripoffs. Oh, that would suck. Bummer. Ziga, what would you do if you got a message from NASA that you can control one of the antennas like in the background for a day? Man, I would enjoy the heck out of that. But I would probably be doing it. Um, yeah, I would love that. I would definitely love that. Search for maybe find a couple of stars way out there and listen carefully at the static, and just see what's out there. Heath Will's talking about port forwarding. Yeah, and that's the problem I'm having there. I want to make sure that I don't just open up the network wide and have stuff blown up. So Bruce Carpenter, yeah, not enough not enough hours in the day to farm. That's my problem here. Heath, I might need your help. I've done this before, but we got a different router in between then and now as well because the other one smoked. So it's been interesting. And maybe that's the thing that maybe that's my purpose in life is that I'll struggle through this so hard that when I get done and I make a video on how to set up your own streaming service, that maybe my video will help other technologically unsavvy individuals figure it out themselves as well. So Dave Speck wants to know if I've watched videos from Mike's Repair. Yeah, so we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I love Mike's Repair. I don't do repair work, but I certainly enjoy him talking about the radio, showing all the stuff that's going on inside of him. He is still around. I thought he might have gotten a heart attack or passed or whatever. So, but somebody was saying here a couple weeks back that they had sent off a radio for him to repair and that was in contact with him. So he's still working. But when they asked him about his videos, he just shut down. And we had actually speculated that it's possible that somebody had harassed him enough that he just decided it wasn't worth his trouble. But that was speculation. We don't know what happened. Maybe he just fell out of love with being on YouTube, 741 saying, thanks, I appreciate the kind words. Hey, man, it is what it is. It's good stuff, so I like it. And, I think if people produce good content, eventually folks find them. And I don't know how, the algorithms of YouTube actually work. I know, obviously, when it comes to politics or news, they're manipulated. But as far as, stuff like us, where we talk about things that apparently, aren't mainstream enough for anyone to care about, I don't know how generic or how spontaneous it is. I know there's days that some days I do a lot more views in a day than on an average day, but I don't understand how that works. But hopefully people find me, they find you, they find Mower Junkie, they find Super B, they find folks that make quality content and they just keep going back. And I can tell you from being at this now since 2015, I guess I got started on it, that don't give up, just don't quit. Everyone's always like, would you recommend starting a channel? Yeah, dude, but you better actually enjoy what you're doing, because if if you're not having fun making the videos, it's going to show in the videos, and then no one's going to want to watch the videos. So if you're doing something you like and you just happen to be recording, then obviously it's going to show up and it's going to be good. So keep it up. You know what I mean? Oh boy, Dallas, I'm going to cool off in the water. Okay, right on, man. Take care, my friend. Be good. Enjoy the beach. Super B saying once the shed is done, got to put 2 base antennas up. Right onto that. Bruce saying he daily carries right onto that. There. Oh, Bruce. Oh gosh, no, I don't know. That Radio Shack in Newland, that is still open, isn't it? Because I'd love to come down there someday and check that out. Probably use fence post steel. Super B saying that's what I used, for upper portions, and that's what I used for the antenna on the house too. So it works great, plenty strong. I haven't had any problem with wind or anything. Hey, Glenn, good to see you in here, man. Better late than never is right. I've had good luck getting RM amps from Newegg, 2 KL203s a year, and they're still running good. So Hollydam's saying that he's had luck. I've got my 2, and they're doing well. Ziga's going to bed. I understand, man. 1 o'clock in the morning. I am dead to the world, my friend. Dead to the world. BLR, I'm really be waiting for the AM radio broadcast video how-to if you ever get the time to get one up. I've always been interested in that since I was a kid. I would be happy to do that. It's like, the FCC has their Part 15 rules, and they're so goofy that even if you get it exactly right, it's still possible to get it wrong. But the idea, I think the spirit of it, and I think if I had an FCC enforcement officer come up here and look at my station, he probably would not have an issue at all, and he would be happy and walk away. that it's like, maybe something is an inch off, or maybe my radiating power is 0.001 milliwatts above what what I'm supposed to be putting out. It's so hard to say for certain without many hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. But I think if you follow the spirit of the rule, you will do fine. And so I will make a video on that. He's saying, I think I left my cell number with you. If you ever need help with the port forwarding, feel free to call. Really? Okay, cool, man. Heath, I appreciate that, dude. I think I have it from Facebook, because we were talking about, this was last year, trying to get up together and get to one of the ham fests, but it just never worked out. But yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. John Talley, how would you get a hold of Mike to get a radio repair? I don't know. I don't know, but he's a president. He's a licensed President Radio repair shop. So if you were going to send your radio, if you had a President Radio that malfunctioned, he'd be the guy. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody else here in the channel can help you out with that. Al Martin saying it's unfortunate, but glad to know he's okay. Yeah, like I was genuinely worried because he was cranking out like a video a month or a video every other week, and they were great videos with lots of views. Usually, people who are getting like lots of views don't disappear midstream. If a channel kind of dies off or just never takes off, it's one thing to see somebody kind of drop away. But yeah, that was kind of weird. But people got stuff going on. It's sometimes hard for me. You guys are watching videos I filmed 3 months ago. That's how far behind I am, or far ahead I am, depending on what way you look at it. I try to make sure that if I stop making videos today, there'd be 2 months of videos, 2 a week. And so that's where I'm at. And that's just to make sure that you guys have steady content, because there are times when I'm not able to. Like this week, I've been busy with family, so I didn't have time to make any kind of video. So that gives me that buffer. So yeah, I don't know, man. 741's also chiming in. Definitely don't give up. I've been at it since '09. Persistence pays off. Exactly. And why does one guy get big and another guy not? I don't know, because like I said, there's plenty of quality content out there that the guys never go anywhere, which I just find so weird. But that's just the way the world works. I must have a critter on me. So anamorphic Adam, how you doing, bud? I'm doing my fair share of satellite comms. Yes, I am indeed. Jamaica Dog, I'm getting a Striker 10 and 12 meter radio to you. UPS. What? Are you crazy, man? Jamaica Dog, I hope you're joking, but I appreciate it if you're not. The cigars were plenty, my friend. The cigars were plenty. But Stryker makes a mean radio, so it'll be something fun to play with if you're serious. Super B, what's a good camera to get? Been using either my phone or my kid's GoPro. So Super B, I used a cell phone. Man, you want a history lesson on this mess? If you go back to my first 9 videos, they were filmed on a analog camcorder, like a 4x3 analog camcorder, VHS type camcorder. Then the next 5 or 6 were on a digital 8mm camcorder that I picked up at a Goodwill. And then I dropped it, like it was on the stand and it fell over and dropped. So no videos for a year. And then my wife finally made me get a cell phone up here. So I started shooting my stuff on a cell phone. And then that was the cheapest cell phone you could get. And those videos were very, very poor quality. In fact, I think the VHS quality ones were better. And so then I got a newer cell phone with a better camera, and I'd say 250 videos on here come from that camera that was just a cell phone. And then it was about a year ago, you can take a look and see that I bought a Sony, AX53, I think it is. And that is a 4K genuine camcorder. And I'm going to recommend that over a DSLR camera, like one of those really fancy cameras. A lot of vloggers use the DSLR cameras, and those are the people that'll have their faces in perfect focus, but the background's fuzzy. And that's pretty high-tech stuff. But the AX53 has a gimbal in it, so the if you're walking with it or you're holding it, and I have some problems, unfortunately, I have a medical problem that's causing my hands to start shaking, and that's going to get worse, unfortunately. So it's got an image. It's not just digital image stabilization. It actually is a free-floating lens, so it takes all that flutter out of it, and it makes for a very nice quality video. So I would recommend that. It was not cheap though, man. That thing cost me, I think it was $600 or $700 for that camera. but it came with chips and extra chargers and all that stuff. So if you really want to if you're sure that you're going to do this forever, I say go ahead and buy something like that. I can't believe that I filmed 250 videos with a cell phone. My wife kept beating me over the head, telling me, "Would you just buy a dang camera?" And so there you go. Jamaica Talk, you are crazy, dude. You are, man. Well, now I'm definitely gonna have to get down to the beach and swing by and maybe have a barbecue with you someday. I appreciate that, brother. Jordan B, I stopped uploading videos for a few months and YouTube took away my monetization. They don't want people to take a break. That is very interesting. I didn't know that would happen. Something I also plan on doing here, and this is maybe sounding morbid, but the fact is people do drop over, is I'm going to film a video that my wife will put up here in case I die. So just to let people know, because I don't want to be like Mike's Radio. And Mike's Radio actually kind of made me think about that. Like, dude, people are going to think you're dead, or people are going to think this. So if you don't see me upload any more videos and there's never another video uploaded, well, I quit. Or, God, I don't know what happened. But if I'm dead, there should be a video that I'll upload to let you all know that I have passed away. So there's my way of saying goodbye to YouTube. And that's my plan. I haven't filmed it yet, so hopefully I don't just drop over tonight, because then then it won't be uploading that video. Joe R says, I might have to beg Mower Junkie to build me and send me an indoor antenna. I don't have enough soldering equipment, and eyesight sucks, and I'm not too mechanically inclined. I'm lucky if I can connect 2 Legos. Mower Junkie, looks like you got a job, man. That, you know what? That's actually a great side job for you, dude. So yeah, you could build custom antennas for folks, man. There's that guy that does that with TV antennas. I can't remember his name now. A southern dude who's a real character, but he takes a lot of like homemade antennas. So there you go. You made your retirement job, brother. Wellwater, I really enjoyed your video of the Harbor Freight tire machine. I want one now. Keep up the great videos. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Wellwater, I saw a lot of videos on that where guys were struggling and cussing it out and saying that it was cheap and blah, blah, blah. But I must have mounted and balanced about 20,000 tires in my lifetime, and I wish I was exaggerating, but my back will confirm that I've been a tire guy at many tire stores. So this being a manual one, the concept is the same. So give it a good old squirt of lube, and you usually can get them done, man. So I have had problems. LT tires, tractor tires are a little tougher. I usually get my wife out there to help hold it in position while I move it around, but I've gotten over 100 tires put on with that thing. In fact, I've just made like a 1-year follow-up video on it, and I talk about it. So I'm glad you like it. If you just follow my advice, you'll do great, man. He's asking everybody to hit the like button. I'd appreciate that, folks. Hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, this is cool. Mower Junkie and 741 and Super B, look at your analytics and tell me if yours is the same way. Subscribers versus non-subscribers, the people that watch my video, I only have 7% of the views on my channel are from subscribers, which means that if I had everybody that came around and watched my videos time after time, if they subscribed, I'd have over 100,000 subscribers, which is my ultimate goal in life, someday down the road to get that far. I want one of those plaques that YouTube likes to give out. Of course, they'll probably cancel that program right when I get to like 99,000, so. So there you go. Oh, gosh. Super B saying the kids hate being the cameraman. Yeah, my wife too. I got a tripod that came with that camera kit that I got, and I try to shoot it that way. I have bought 3 wireless mics to try to do, because I get a lot of complaints about volume on some of my videos, and I can't ever get them to work right. So that's another thing that people do want to have happen, but I just can't get it happening, man. So I missed a few here. Joe R. saying he thought Mike had died as well. Yeah. Super B, I've got people wanting me to build sheds and tiny houses now. Yeah, the way you're building that, I can't imagine why not, man. Like, I swear, if I was going to stick build a house, I'd be like, hey, man, you wanna come over for a couple months? Robert O'Dyer, that guy that builds TV antennas, installs them. Antenna Man, that could be it. I can't remember. Older gentleman, right? Adam saying there's some skip on 38. Yeah, well, I understand it was going all day, but I wasn't out here messing around, unfortunately. So it was Antenna Man. That's it. Or Antenna Guy. Okay. Frank C. did Mike's... No, he did not die. No, he didn't die. Get views but no subs, Super B. So, and I don't... Like, I hate to be the guy that's like and subscribe. And, I end all my videos with the outro that I guess that has that in there, but I'm not going to I'm not going to sit there like TV evangelical being like, get on that phone. So Joe says he got 6 subscribers. Everybody got to start somewhere, man. You don't just wake up one morning with a million of them. Wow, 741 saying less than 3% of his are from subs. So right around the same line as me, man. Bruce Carpenter, Smoking Joe did pass away of a heart attack. He was a super nice guy. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. CJ, how can I stop interfering with AM radio on CB radio? That's weird. Huh. I don't know, man. So there's probably something going on with your radio if you're pushing over into the AM like broadcast band. I'm not sure where to begin with that, but I would begin probably with the radio. Like if you have another AM radio or CB radio you can swap it out with and see if it gives the same problem, that would probably be where I start because I'm thinking you got something going on with the inside of that radio to cause that. That's kind of unusual, but not impossible. I had a Pace 144 CB radio, an old 23 channel that I had for years in my Chevy Citation, and when it died, it started to receive AM broadcast transmissions. I was picking up like the local AM station, so I guess anything's possible when magic smoke appears. Scooters 55 saying I have a radio from Smoking Joe. I also purchased a Cobra 2000 from him a few days before he passed. Oh no, I haven't got the radio yet. That's not good, Scooters, because I mean, it can be very difficult for family, especially going through the stuff, to try to get that. But I'll say a prayer for you, my friend. He's saying YouTube will cancel it for the 100,000. Yeah, exactly. I know that's what's going to happen, man, because he'll be like, you know what? By the time I get to 100,000 subscribers, every human on the planet will have 100,000 subscribers. So I'll be like, what's the point? Yeah, we'll have to, it's going to have to be 1 million. And then, of course, I'll be dead and buried before that happens. I'll be an old man. CJ saying it does give the same result on both radios. And are you using an amp or is that just straight out of the antenna? Because that is really unusual, man. Jamaica Dog. Every time I transmit on CB with 60 watts, my wife hears every word in the house through the desktop speakers. Yeah, so once you start throwing power, you come through the phones, you come through the speakers. Well, most of y'all, I'm not talking about cell phones, but like we still have landlines. It'll come through landlines, it'll come through speakers. In the old days on analog TV, it would go through herringbone patterns on the screen, so that was also happening there. Hey Dana, how's it going there? So it's late to the party. It does it with and without an amp. Now that is weird, man. Huh. That's crazy. Mower Junkie saying 26,000 views in the last 28 days. 12.5 are unique. That's pretty good views counts, man. That's good. I don't know what mine is. I can't stop and look at it, but yeah. Kabopolis Sam, I've heard of another YouTube that recently reached 100,000 subs and refused to give him his plaques. That's unfortunate. So I know that sometimes, like when you get up there to 100,000, they will they like go back and they delete any accounts that are like old accounts, spam accounts, double accounts, that kind of stuff. So it can be like a false start. Sometimes you have to hit it twice. So that might be what's going on there. Down the holler, it's on my list of things to do this year, but he's asking about a long wire antenna. Mine's not CB, but I want to do a shortwave antenna that's out in the yard. I want to do like a 100-foot wire that's just strung out in the yard and see about doing a shortwave video because I do enjoy shortwave stuff, especially this time of year. It's been fun to go to sleep listening to that. Heath Whittle, does anybody watch The Radio Shop? Buddy is a great guy and does a great job videoing his repairs. I haven't heard of him, but I will definitely check that out, Heath. Thank you for that info. Joe R., I would have trusted Joe to do work, not sure about others. Fine tune seems to call out. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of like a whole subculture, radio repair shop guys. And obviously they're genuinely in competition. We're like, I don't understand like YouTubers being in competition with each other, but business owners are genuinely in competition. So I can understand somebody like, let's say Mike's wanted to trash talk Lester's or whatever, or vice versa. I think it's wrong, but I can understand that it happens because it's business, genuinely. So, I use a 60-foot deal post, so 120 feet, not bad. What time is it, guys? 8 o'clock. All right, man. I feel like I've been at this longer than an hour. Maybe it's because it's been a long day. I have set up an inverted V. Right on. What else do you all want to talk about? Because I might call this short. I'm kind of suddenly feeling kind of tired here. Night Stalker says, "Wow, Your new dish would be great. Good to see you out there. Yeah, this is it. This is what I'm picking up. Dad, do you have cicada bugs? No, but a couple years back we had those, and man, it was like it sounded like the woods were screaming. Man, it was crazy. You know how they come out like every 11 years or something like that in mass. The rest of the year, the years they come out here, a little there. But there's one where they all hatch, and that was something else. I remember that. CJ says, ever seen Red Dawn? I saw it in the movie theater, brother. My Boy Scout troop went to go see that when we were kids. That thing was awesome. One of the best movies ever made. I think it should be required learning. Joe R saying he doesn't think his power supply is coming tonight. Yeah, with all the weird stuff going on, a lot of packages are delayed or whatnot. Some CB shops on YouTube bash the other text. Yeah, I think that doesn't help, Adam. But like I said, it's one thing to be like, oh, this YouTube channel sucks, because it's just absolutely, literally pointless. But I lost my train of thought. But the guys going after each other who are business owners, I can kind of understand. It's still wrong, trash talking. Well, it's one thing if you're going to genuinely point out something that's wrong. Like if you're going to do a review on something and it sucks, I find that that's just being honest. But I think sometimes some of that stuff is just guys, kind of poking each other. Jamaican Dog says, I wanted to talk about the picture you had up before the live stream. The American flag Yugo, that was actually a photo op when they introduced the 86 Yugo here in the States. I think it said like the Americana on the plate, and there was a beautiful young lady in a bathing suit, and then the American flag. But that's the highest quality copy of that I could find. It's such a great. I actually would make that into a poster and put it out here in the shop, but it's just not high enough quality to blow up. Super B, I've thought about doing the same videos on the trashy service and repairs I fix on late model BMWs. Yeah, so auto repair stuff, like, in the business, there's a lot of bad shops. So sometimes I will be honest and, recommend customers avoid certain shops, but that's business. That's like not online. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to really get down to the bottom of that. I'm starting to feel like, I don't know. Anyway, Joe R. Red Dawn sucked. Oh, the remake. Yes. Oh God, it was so bad. Kowtowed to the Chinese and redid digitally the entire movie to make it the Koreans instead of the Chinese, and it still sucked. I think it would have been better if they'd released it the way it was, so that way it could have sucked, and the Chinese would have been like, oh, see, it wasn't so bad after all. BLR, I love to make poppers out of the peppers and freeze them, fry them up when they're just right. Put some ranch dressing. That sounds good. We actually had jalapeno poppers for dinner. We don't deep fry them. We bake them in the oven, but we had it sour with cream cheese and bacon and onions. Oh, it was good stuff, man. Jordan B saying, yeah, that remake sucked. It was so bad. Yeah, Al Martin saying that Red Dawn talk is best for Midnight Cafe. It is so true, my friend. Heath Whittles, do you ever have deer or other animals ravage your garden? Most definitely, dude. I use a product that is absolutely disgusting when you think about what it actually is, but it works really well. They sell it at local home improvement stores. It is called Milorganite. You can go ahead and look that up. It is a fertilizer, but it is a fertilizer that comes from recycled human, what? I think it's Cincinnati septics, like the public works. Well, when they run the process of recycling or, cleaning out human waste, they run it through a lot of processes and turn it into a granulated form, which is then a fertilizer. Think about that. Yeah. But it's safe. It's not toxic. It's not disgusting. I mean, it is disgusting, but it's not that disgusting. And because, to you and me, it just smells like fertilizer, but to the animals, it smells like humans. And no animal wants to be around a human, so they usually hightail it out of there. Occasionally, however, you get a fancy, brave one, and they'll continue the good fight. So, let's see here. Robert says, is your CB broadcasting on AM commercial radio? You could be transmitting harmonics that resonates on the broadcast band. Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering about, like a problem with the radio itself. But Super B saying bake 'em. Yeah, that's good, man. Adam saying, Eric, do you have canned green beans this year? The green bean fiend wants to know. Yeah, we're growing a bunch of green beans, but like here, our growing season started 3.5 weeks ago. So it's going to be a while before we start picking green beans. But like mid-August, through end of September, it's like green bean city. And yeah, we'll be canning them. We finished the canned green beans we had from last year, about a month ago. So we must have canned 30 or 40 cans of green beans. So it was a great year last year. I'm hoping it will be again this year. Wolverines. Yes. Super Bee. Me and my kids pee around the garden. That also helps. I do that around the chicken coop too, around the chickens to keep predators away because the predators are smelling prey, and so if they get close, and they're like, "Oh, a bigger predator is around. I might want to bail." I'm hoping that helps anyway. Holiday Man, hey, oh yeah, we refused to see it at the co-op. I think they called it Unity here. Yeah, Joe R. Right, the place I used to deliver for sold Milorganite. Yeah, Milorganite is, I think it's, it's available here anyway. Hopefully it's available everywhere, but it does actually work, and it's a great fertilizer. So, Nice Doctor saying we never thought we'd have to pay for people's poop. It's a strange world we're living in, but it's refined. You see, it's been processed, so that's you're paying for the process. It's like bottled water, man. They ran it through a filter, dude. It's totally worth $2 now. uh, Holiday, I was like, you're not filling a trailer. Yeah, most remakes suck. Yeah, BLR. My stepdad used to pee on pallets in the garden. I thought it was weird, but I've heard it now. It works. Yeah, it does. It does. Animals don't like people for good reason. We usually kill them when we see them, or a lot of us. Historically, we do. So they have that kind of ingrained, especially a prey animal, and even something like an opportunistic, like rabbit. Obviously, is going to run the second he sees any kind of possible predator. But a raccoon who would put up a fight, still going to usually be like, yeah, I don't think I want to take this chance. Opportunistic animals, you know what I mean? So. 64, Sam keeps saying his two German Shepherds are pet deterrents. My 2-year-old loves squirrels and rabbits. Yeah, I can't, we don't have any dogs right now. But in our area, there's animals that kill dogs. So even that, I don't know after dark if I'd be wanting to let the dogs out to, patrol the perimeter unless it was maybe something like a Great Pyrenees or something like that. That was just literally a slayer. Ro, how you doing, buddy? Does that antenna in the background pick up Radio Tokyo? It picks up Radio Mars. It picks up Radio Saturn. That's a good one. I'd like that for the backyard, but there's we don't have a homeowners association out here, but I think that might be a little tough to pull that one off on my wife's side. Rural King has lots of canning supplies. You know where I get my canning supplies from? Is Craigslist or Facebook. There's so many people that have all the kinds of canning jars and they just get out and give up. So I'll just pick that up usually from them. And I got a great deal. I think I actually made a video on it. I got like 80 cans and all of them were filled with dried beans and herbs and spices. And man, I got like all kinds of stuff for free. So it was awesome, man. Holiday used to have a lot of potash and phosphate mix into the fields. Yeah, we have we keep the ashes from the fireplace and the wood burning stove. But that's not really a deterrent. That's just for making the ground better for plants. Doberman's a great dog. Yeah, man. Al saying cafe like a male dog peeing 20 times around the property. Only easier, right? Jordan B wants to know about using the unit and trunk tracker. I do not. All the scanners that I play with are like old school analog models. I would love to get into the trunking and digital mode ones, but just haven't. I mean, they're very expensive too, man. The CJ wants to know what the antenna in the background would be used for. My guess would be satellite communication to either satellites, although that's awfully big for a ground link station, but perhaps probes. Might be one talking to the lunar lander on Mars, something like that. Or it might be a deep space telescope listening or viewing. A lot of things that look like an antenna, it's actually a telescope. They just use radio to create the signal or create the picture. So that could be what's going on there. Do you prefer, what do you prefer for a base station antenna? I think if I had to do it over again, I would have just stuck with an Antron, but I do like the Max 2000. I just found it was a little bit harder to set up, so. Yeah, Joe's saying $650 for that unit, and yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a lot for a hobby, at least in my for my money anyway. Guys, if you would be so kind as to hit the like button, I would appreciate that. I don't know, it's showing 50 likes here, which is pretty good for a good live show here. I live in Lightning Pro. Yeah, I'd say, like I said, 64. I'd say stick with an Antron A99. If you want to go all out, you can get a ground plane kit, although I have no experience with the ground plane kit. So that is that, my friends. Let me see something here. I'm going to switch. Give me a second. There we go. Sorry about that. Heath Whittle, do you remember the old Moonraker? Yeah, that was like, you were somebody if you had a beam back in the day. Yeah, even now, I mean, it's even rare now to see beams for CB. You see them still for ham radio stuff, but you don't see them much for CB radio stuff. But there were guys growing up in Raleigh. I lived just at the edge of where the main talking area for Raleigh was, but there was a couple guys. What was his name? He used to refer to his base station as Tranquility Base, based off of our trip to the Apollo mission to the moon. But he had a beautiful, like 60-foot tower with he had an Antron on top and he had a beam in the middle, and he could rotate that beam around and talk. But it was a quad, so you could go horizontal or vertical. But it was just awesome, man. And he was a good guy. He passed away, unfortunately. But then there was a guy that I worked with that got me really into the hobby. He had a Cobra 2000, and in his car he had, I don't remember what it was. I think it was a Striker of some type, and big old antenna. And he would talk all over the place. And all these guys were running power, but I was poor, so I was in a mobile home with a metal roof, and I used a pair of co-phased cables and had two 102 steel whips, so that it was directional. I put them up in an angle so that it would direct back towards where the main action was in town, and it actually worked really well. SWR was a little higher than I would have wanted it to be, but it still was good. And I had just a peak and tune unit in Washington, and man, I talked so many nights for so long, man. There were meetings every night on nearly every channel all the way up through the early 2000s, and then it just like overnight, poof, dropped. Channel 35 was the local channel, and people used to have Channel 35 stickers. I Monitor 35 was real common to see on the back of cars back in the day. Those were the days, man. Sorry, I'm getting nostalgic, but those genuinely were the days. You could say get a Baofeng. Yeah, I've got a Baofeng here. I still haven't made part 2 of that video. The people that sent it to me are probably fussing about it right now. Oh, I do have some good news on the sending stuff. I made those videos, and I know there's not a lot of auto enthusiasts on here, but I made a couple of videos on the 2 new scan tools that I purchased, and this company got in touch with me and they wanted to send me another one to test, and it's a very inexpensive scan tool, but I did a video on it. I'll be uploading at some point, and then actually next Wednesday I'll be uploading it, and then I actually am giving that to a new tech, so a guy who's just getting started, doesn't have many tools, so I'm going to give it to him because it's a great little code reader, so I'm going to do that. And they've agreed they're going to send more stuff, so that's nice. And another company is working with me on some automotive stuff too. So that's been kind of a recent thing. Is like all of a sudden companies not see. I get a lot of radio companies that want to send me handheld stuff and whatnot, but this is to get some automotive tool reviews is a big deal because it's what I do for a living. So to be able to review tools and then pass those along or bring them into work or whatnot is a really positive thing for the channel. So I hope maybe even if you're not totally into cars and car related stuff, you'll pass the word around that I do make those kind of videos, because I'm hoping to grow that part of the channel just ever so slightly so that I continue to get those products to review, because I think that's probably been one of the coolest things that has happened on the channel. It's nice to get a lot of subscribers. It's nice to meet a lot of friends. But when companies contact you and they say, hey, man, we like you so much, we're going to give you, a radio to play with, or we're going to give you, in the case of this guy, a scan tool that to play with, that's pretty awesome, man. That to me, that means that they value my opinion or they value my channel, I guess. So I'm happy with that. So you'll be seeing all that, and hopefully that's something that continues as the future rolls on by. And Murphy Adams saying, scan tool review, yeah, buddy. Yeah, that both the ones I got, that Foxwell, I know, I guess it's kind of boring to folks that aren't into scan tools, and that didn't get a lot of views. But that's a really cool tool, man. That's an all-system scan tool. It does, everything you pretty much need it to do. It does some bi-directional stuff, not everything, but for the price, that was... I think I paid about $260 for that thing, and that was awesome. And that Ansel 530 is also awesome. That one I was really surprised at the speed and stuff. So, and now I've got an Autel. What I keep praying now that these guys have contacted me is that somebody's going to send me something like an Autel 908DS or I'd love to get like a Foxwell GT60. Or an Ansel X6, or a Launch 431. I mean, there's a lot of like pro level scan tools, and you guys know I'm stuck with the OTC Genesis, which is a great scan tool, but it's getting on in the years now. Its last update was 2015, so I sure would be nice if one of them, get an email one day and they're like, "Hey, let's send you this $1,000 scan tool," because I would make a lot of videos on that. Yeah, you got a 908 Super B, so that's a great scan tool, and we have one at work. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring it home and do a video on it just to show the difference kind of between the three levels of scan tools that you can get as a technician. So full-time RVers get free stuff all the time, says Joe. Yeah, last summer somebody sent me a hammock, like out of nowhere. Like I don't even know. They were just like, "Hey, like your YouTube channel, would you be interested in doing a review on a hammock?" And it was when it was like a week before I flew out to pick up that Rabbit truck and drive it back across country. So I picked up, I got the hammock. It arrived like the day I left, or the day before I left. So I threw it in the bag. I actually camped out in it a couple times. We slung it across trees at campsites, and yeah, it was nice. So that was sweet. But I was hoping that was going to take off, but they didn't ever contact me again. But that was cool. So as the channels grow, and Super B and 741 and Mower Junkie and anybody else out there that's got them channels, if you keep your fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully you'll get somebody to send some stuff our way, right? Rose saying the trunk radio is gone. No, that's not good. Holly Dam, the local police went to in the country on FM. Okay, NXDN. I'm not sure what that one is. I don't keep up with the latest ones. Ours is still pretty old school here, but interesting. Al Martin says, "Yours and Mike's Radio Repair sold me on the McKinley over the Galaxy. Love your review videos." Yeah, the McKinley's just a solid performer. I wish I had like 4 of those things, man. I put one in every car if I could wedge it in the DIN slot. McKinley's awesome. Yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. And of course, President is working with me, and I'm so honored that I have done videos with them and that they send me products, and I but I did the giveaway 2 years in a row now with those guys. I gave away the Andy that was mine last year, and the year before they worked with me to give away a President Bill. But the fact that we have a company, and I think everyone needs to support this, is the fact that we have a company here that is giving as much love and attention to CB radio at a time when all other manufacturers are kind of phoning it in or leaving the market altogether is something that we need to support. And I'm just so honored that they decided to choose me to help them out with that. So I feel like being a spokesman for them. They don't pay me. They do give me radios, but even if they didn't give me radios, I'd probably give them free advertising as often as possible because I love their stuff, man. The bill is so cool. So there you go. Let's see here. LA Outdoors, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you in here. And Heath Whittle, take care, man. You leaving, I see. And the Striker 955, yeah. So Striker makes a mean radio, but they're expensive, man. They're definitely expensive. So I've never owned a Striker, although it appears that I might be shortly, thanks to Jamaica Dog. So I'll definitely be doing an overview of one of those if that's the case. Holiday Man saying NXDN is a newer digital mode. Don't know much about it. Supposedly a DMR hotspot can cross mode to it. Huh. Very interesting. And I wonder why they're moving up to it, because a lot, like, you can get an app for your phone that's like scannerradio.com or something like that, and it has a lot of the live feeds on there. So I don't know if they're not trying to hide that from conversations from the civilians, I don't think, but I just don't know what the advantage of that would be over, say, just a regular radio. But I guess it is what it is, right? 64 saying he loves the Striker 955. Beautiful radio too. Love the big analog gauges on the old Striker radios. Joe R, have 2 President Johnny 3s for my Jeeps, and we'll soon have a Lincoln 2 for home. Might have to retire the RCI. Yeah, man, it sounds like quite a nice setup, man. Jordan B here, 5 p.m. here, and work is over. Nap time. Take care. Yeah, I'm getting ready to head out. We've been at it for about an hour and 20 minutes. I usually run these things just shy of an hour and a half, and I think we've had a good run tonight. I see 59 likes, and it looks like there's been a good amount of people in here, so I'm hoping people have enjoyed the show. The phone apps are on a delay. Okay, I did not know that. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, so if something desperate was happening, at least they can pause that a little bit. That makes sense. Guys and gals, and everybody in between, I am Eric, the owner of Farpoint Farms here in the beautiful mountains of North Carolina. And at 1 hour and 15 minutes, I'm going to say that it has been a wonderful evening. I've enjoyed the opportunity to get together with y'all. It's funny, I got to talk to Ireland. I got to talk to someone in England. I got to talk to people all over the United States. And although I think Dallas checked out for a while, Dallas was sitting on a beach listening to the show. That's pretty cool. What a world we live in. What a world we live in, where you can hear somebody all the way across the world with so it's such an ease. You know what I mean? It's just so easy. It's just crazy. I've talked many times with folks in Australia right here on the channel. Just beautiful, man. Just beautiful. So y'all take care of yourselves. 73s to all of y'all out there. Frank C. saying, tell President Radio Facture that I'm not buying. They want you want a Trump. I'll let him know, man. I think I have mentioned that to him. I've mentioned to him multiple times about a base station, and I have mentioned people asking about the Trump. I also asked him how many more sideband radios they're going to come out with, and some stuff is kind of classified. Let's just leave it at that. Thumbs up to everybody. 73s, everybody. And take care, everybody. I'll see y'all next time. Till then, man, be safe. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye-bye.